Hello and welcome everyone to another Iceberg interactive Twitch stream. Let me just readjust the camera and thank you all for joining us. So today we will be trying to continue our previous multiplayer game, and we're here in the lobby. We haven't started yet. We have quite a couple of people. Let's see. And we're just gonna try and continue. This is a testing game, so there will be bugs, there will be issues. We're actually trying to load a existing game pretty much for the first time. So that is something we are looking at, and yeah, we're just gonna try and play a bit. So this game is Oriental Empires. It is a turn-based strategy game based around ancient China. It is developed by Shining Pixel Studios and published by Iceberg Interactive. Sorry about this. So we are in the lobby here, just waiting for the game to start. We have a bit too many people, so I'm asking someone if they want to perhaps join the second game that is being hosted. If any of you guys who are watching want to join in as well, you are very welcome to do so. So let's see. Of course, if you have any questions about the game, feedback, or whatever, then drop me a line. And let's see. If you have more questions about the game, so drop us a line here, or perhaps you want to go to the Steam forums where there's a lot of information on the game. It is available on Steam, but it is still in early access. And one of the reasons it is in early access is because we want to test the multiplayer, which is what we're doing out in public for everyone to see. And it looks like we're ready to go. And so we should be ready to go. Let's see, Bailey, are you gonna leave still or stay? Either is fine. I should mention that we're gonna try and do regular Twitch streams on this. So there are at least 2 more planned. So if you wanna keep up to date, keep in touch, be sure to follow our channel, and you will be notified whenever we go live. Alright, so we're gonna start, and let's get rolling, see how it works. Okay, so let's see if everyone's here. Does the map include China, or does it include other provinces such as Mongolia or Tibet? So the Grand Campaign map includes most of China and a fair bit of Mongolia, if I recall correctly. It goes east pretty far, so some of the Tibet regions are covered, I think. So it's a pretty big map, but it's also a map that we like to continue to expand as we go along. So let's see what has happened here. We had sickness in our troops, in our army. That's unfortunate. Alright, Dr. Beekman's here, CTSS is here, Sanvona is here, brilliant. And let's see, Femabel's here as well. Femabel was my enemy in the previous game, we took this town from her, but now we want to establish peace. This is really a very good town for us as for defense, just to make sure that our border is secure. So I'd like to hold on to that. So I think we're good to go. Let's see if where our armies are at. Let's get our bearings quickly. So we got some so we got a reasonable economy, but our income is fairly low. I might need to get rid of some troops, but I still have some bandits roaming about, and I don't like the bandits a lot. Also, we are moving about here, and we are moving about here with our armies, so I really like to make peace with the Chu, and continue spread out my influence some other way, some other road. Yeah, I watched your content. I watched it. So, is there disease in game? So, there is disease in game, but you cannot really use it as a weapon. But your soldiers will get diseased or fatigued if they're out in the field for too long, and there's some randomness to it, and you can mitigate some of its effect with technologies. But there is always the chance that disease will strike your armies. So especially lengthy sieges will be troublesome. Okay, let's see what we have to do. So we had one offer from the Chu, and let's see. Do you guys have any game sound or not? Should have a little. Anyway, I got one offer from the Chu, but I'm not sure how serious it was. So, asking for 2 settlements and becoming our vassal, and asking for plenty bit of money in return for making peace. So we are not gonna do that. There we go. It is a shame that this agreement could not be reached. It is indeed a shame. And we're gonna do a bit more farming and try and keep our population growing. Our armies will continue to move. I will have them pause here though. I will send these guys over here to protect Mordor. And these guys will go further south, crossing the river. I will have these, I think, remain here. I think that is a good position for them. Hidden in the trees, but defending a very important approach to my capital. So with that, I think I'm gonna end turn. As if any of you watching still want to join a multiplayer game, you can actually do so right now if you own the game. So subscribe to the open beta, right click your game in the library, properties, select betas, and from the drop down menu select multiplayer beta. Tyburn is hosting game 2, which he's been playing last week, and they're gonna be testing as well. So we got 2 games running in parallel. This one's already started, the other one's still in the lobby, so if you hurry you can still catch it. Look for the forums for instructions on how to do it. Let's see if we can get some of these encounters here. That'll be interesting. And with that, I think I'm just gonna hit end turn. Or shall we make a proposal? We're gonna make a proposal to the Chu. We like him. Let's see. Let's make peace. And we will pay you a fair bit of money for at least 25 turns. I think that should be enough. We're actually winning the war, so it's just being, me being formal, offering some money as compensation. Stacks without orders. Let's have a look. Where are our stacks at? So these guys, they need to block the approach. I want to sleep just to scout and see, make sure nothing crazy is coming through the forest. And what about you guys? I think I'm gonna disband you. Don't think you serve any purpose. And with that, we're gonna hit end turn. So I'm gonna speed everything up a little bit. And we are fighting the bandits again, but I think we outstrengthen them. We both have regular spearmen, but I got a stronger army, and they're already worn out a bit, so that should not pose too much of a threat. We're waiting for the other players. And we got some offers. Let's have a look. The Zhao wants to review each other's capital location. I have no issues with that. The Mongols want us to attack Han. We're not going to do that, even though they are our allies. And the Chu want to make peace if we give them the settlement, which, of course, we will not do. It is a highly strategic settlement, and we need it. So we are gonna put a bit more pressure, threatening Hogwarts. Perhaps we can loot a little bit and try and convince them to go into a peace treaty. And let's have a look. So we got some farms being completed. That's always very good, because that means their population is growing. And if your population is growing, you get more taxes. And game 2 is starting off now. So good luck everyone playing there. Please let us know how it went. Nice, good to know. So we're going to continue to farm. Question here: can you build like the Great Wall of China, already such ancient wonder? Actually, at the moment you cannot. It has been proposed by a couple of people also as a victory condition to build like the Great Wall, which is a very, very interesting concept, but it is something that requires quite a bit of work and something that's not yet there. But I won't say it never will be. We think it's a very interesting concept. It just brings a lot of potential gameplay changes and limitations, or things to consider, essentially, if you have a multiplayer game, or any game really, where suddenly some hexes become you cannot move through, or whichever. So it requires a lot of thought and work. And while it is definitely something we'd like to investigate for the future, it's not something for the near future, basically. There are other priorities at the moment to finish what is there first, before we start adding on to it. That's basically the point where we're at right now. So I hope that makes sense to you. I'm gonna send you back. Yeah, you could have tried to liberate Mortar. Yes, well, you can build, exactly, Dr. Biegman. I mean, you can build palaces and temples and monasteries, and you can expand them and make them very, very tall, very big, very impressive, making them give you a lot of cultural victory points. But you cannot... you cannot really build them as in wonders. They're not a special building class by themselves. So Dr. Beekman is spying again. Dr. Beekman is playing the Shang in this game. So we met briefly on the map, I think. Did we? I seem to recall something like that. Are there naval battles? We definitely have a navy in there. So we got like a mixture of river boats and some sea ships. And with late technology, you can even cross some ocean hexes, should you want to. So rivers and river boats, they definitely play a role in game, but they usually come in a bit late. That is something we might actually still rebalance. But yes, boats and river battles, or amphibious battles more or less, are definitely possible. Especially once you get some good transport ships out, they can really speed up your troop movement if you are situated near to good rivers. Alright, let's see. The Chu accept our offer. That is just brilliant. So it costs us some money. No. But we solidified our gains, and we basically pushed them into being friends again, which is really, really good. I'm happy. So we're gonna remove our troops from the borders. Gonna move them back again. And we need to watch out as well. That's one of the things I don't want to conquer too much at the moment, is that my authority rating is not that high at the moment. So I will get some unrest issues. Guzu's continue to grow. Guzu, I want to make my main trade hub. It's situated in the center of all my my city, so it has 4 potential trading partners. Late game, perhaps even 5, or even north over there. So this could be very interesting. In addition, it has also the mulberry, which increases the value of silk. So this I want to make my trading hub in the future. The surrounding cities are just not tall enough to warrant it, to warrant the investment, basically. Yeah, so AI and ships, it is something being worked on. That's all I can say at this point, really. But it's definitely something that is a part of the core part of the game, and that the AI will have to learn to make use of. So what year or dynasty is the period set in? Yes, that's a very good question, because the game basically covers about 3,000 years of Chinese history. So it goes all the way from the 1500 BC to 1500 AD. So it is broken up into 3 global time periods, which I can see from the text screen. So we got the early Bronze Age, we got the Warring States era, and later the Imperial era. That's roughly the breakdown, but you understand that if we have such a big time frame, that we don't have like many historical characters, or because it's very hard to have them make sense and not be timelines completely messed up. So that's something we are aware of, but it's more about the global movements, or the gradual changes of China. So you go from really raiding each other's land to really developing urban cultures and different philosophies and different technologies. So there's a very clear progression in the game, from one point in Chinese history to the other. So you will see rebellions from both peasants and nobles. You will see firearms. Late game, you will see the development and growth of cities and trade. And so first, the factions are fairly isolated, and later in game, they all become entangled one way or another, which also makes the politics and thus the diplomacy very interesting aspect later on. Is there the Mongol invasion for China? It's not as an event. There are a couple of steppe tribes to the north that will come down in the grand campaign. For the custom game, there is the Mongol faction, so you can play the Mongols and try and conquer China with your horse archers. So that gameplay is there. There is no specific scenario for it though. Having these more specific historical scenarios is something we definitely want to do, and is something that will have priority very soon. Alright, so let's see, we got some banter going on in the chat right here while we're waiting for other players. We're currently waiting for Dr. Beekman, Shang, and there you go, he hits enter. We got some battles going on here and there. Xiao and Han is fighting some rebels. We don't like the Han particularly, but we're not formally in a state of war with them. I do want to keep them out though. And Han is being played by CTSS1230, who also joined in a couple of multiplayer tests before. Then we have Ice Moonsugar, who is actually in the office here as well with us. He's from Iceberg Community Manager. We got Dr. Beekman, before mentioned, who actually saved this game by still having the save game for it. So thank you for that, Dr. Beekman, also as within the stream. We have... Playing Chu, we have Femabel. She's our intern. It's actually her last day, so this is a great time to wish her well in all her future endeavors. It's been a blast testing the game with you, and I hope you will continue to enjoy the game after you leave us. And then we have Sanvon, who is also a veteran, I should say, of Oriental Empires, and who is writing a fairly in-depth guide. So someone with a lot of knowledge as well. And here we go, so I'm going to continue to build up my farms. And we spotted Hogwarts. So Fembel has the interesting habit of changing names over towns. So we got Pallet Town, we got Hogwarts. I'm not quite sure what this one is. We'll check it out. And what's the settler doing there? And yes, the liberation of Mordor. So Mordor was actually called Middle Earth before by Femabel, and when I took what was rightfully mine, I renamed it to Mordor. So that's where that name comes from. I think we've done all. Let's see. I asked her, what's that settler doing there? And the answer is settling, which is painfully obvious. I don't like to be known as someone who breaks my treaties, but... So, we're not going to do anything to those settlers. We're just keeping an eye on them. News of war, actually. So the Chu and the Han are at war. And let's see if we can strike a deal. Stack without orders. Where's that one? Alright, these guys. Try and block Han. Han has scouts pretty much everywhere, which is quite amazing. And we found Dr. Beekman right here, just chilling at his home. So, while waiting for everyone to complete their turns, I offered Chu help against Han potentially, but it was rejected. Chu, for some reason, is still not completely comfortable with having large armies of mine near her towns. But at least we're on good terms for now. cost me quite a bit of money. Most of the spoils of the rhino, the rhinos give a lot of money, but so they basically go to Famabel directly because of my war reparations. Oh well. So let's see, we are waiting for Han at the moment, who might have been listening in. I just want to make sure that settler is not going into my town, but that doesn't appear to be happening, so alright, let's start with silk. We want to have the silk coming out at some point, but I'm also saving up to improve the town of Miley. But I also need a new town. Well, do I yet? I think I do. There we go. That should be fine. And so our armies are moving back. We can see some armies of the Chu moving. Don't be afraid of my spearmen; they're not going to do anything. Stack without orders. This is a recurring issue for me. Yeah, you guys. I'm gonna have you sleep. I'm gonna have you disbanded. Save some money. Is it possible to alter the terrain, such as building a dam in a river flood? Well, actually, that's quite interesting. So we don't have any big products or structures like dams, but you can clear forests, you can drain swamps to make farmland available. You can build roads, which is quite important later on. So there are subtle ways you can change the terrain. You need some technologies to turn, for example, more elevated grounds such as mountains or hills into proper farms. So you got some technologies to make that happen. And generally, yeah, you convert normal ground into farmland. So there are some ways you interact with it. The terrain also strikes back if it starts raining real bad. You can get flooding, so that means that your farms don't produce as much food. That can cause some major issues. You can get, your ships or your armies hit in bad weather. And some tiles might even no longer be possible once they are flooded. So that's something to take into account as well. So the terrain plays a very, very big role in games like these. We're playing a random generated map right now, so this is not the official China map. But if you do the grand campaign, you got the full map of China with all the major rivers in there, and playing their historical role basically. Arguably, we could make river transport and ships a bit more important, relatively speaking, but those are balance issues. I mean, the mechanics for that to happen are in place. And again, we're waiting for some of the other players, or at least for one of them. And we got our encounter. Sure, I would like a bit more map info. There we go. And we need a new tech here. So we could go for the... well, let's go for... yeah, let's go for signaling. That will means a more professional army in the long run. Yeah, it's very true, Dr. Bigman. They were big deals. So you got like irrigated farms, which are like more or less canals, but not so much canals as to transport in. Well, you know, that's one of the things with these type of games. There's so many things you can do or you might want to do. That, you know, it's really hard to say stop at some point. So that's why, you know, we want to get this game into a release state real quick. So with a good solid multiplayer, which is why we're testing now with AI using navies and some other various tweaks and changes. But really big new features will not come before like full release. That's not completely true, actually. There we got something. We are prepping something for you guys. But we do want to keep supporting this game post-release like a lot. This game is built to last, both for players but also for us to keep expanding on, keep improving on, and together with you guys. I mean, you've been giving great feedback on the forums, really valuable, and the game has improved a lot for it, and we'd like to keep that going. So that means for all of you who are watching this right now or later, if you have ideas or things you'd like to see, or minor tweaks even, like I don't like that particular model or why that mountain is over there, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to read about it. If you can support it with historical documents or not, well, documents, just some text or whatever, where we can see that it makes sense for the time period, that would be even better. We'd love to see that. That doesn't mean that we don't have enough to do already with our own plans ourselves, because we do. There is plenty to do. But also, like I said, for post-release, there's so much we can do, and to help prioritize us, it would be great if you could share your ideas. Aldelan, that's another one of those. I mean, that would be like very interesting ideas. It was considered for this version, but it is always very hard to balance. We really wanted to make this a game about China from Chinese perspective, and not another game focused on like Europeans or whichever. So it's not there at the moment. But also a very interesting idea for a DLC. We do have many different factions out there, so they're not just you know, like Chinese, like Han Chinese people. They're like Mongol tribes or steppe tribes. There are other tribes who are considered barbarians by many of the other factions. And so there are clear differences in culture, and these differences are also visual. So we got a new town here made by Famabel under the name of Better Mordor, and I love it. I'm happy with it. It's a nice town. I will get out of your way. Yes, so there are definitely bandits to be found. No pirates yet, which is an interesting one actually. I had not considered that one. Bandits, they are, so at the beginning we will see many bandits roam the land because there are no real central institutions, so everyone could potentially be a bandit, more or less. So there is that. But and also later, if you have high unrest levels, for example, bandits will emerge. So that's also something to take into account. And you also can get full-fledged rebellions by either your peasants or your nobles. So there is this delicate balance between the two. So you got like peasants and nobles as separate classes, and also with separate like populations, and they both have their own reasons to hate you or dislike you. So you need to walk a fine balance while pleasing both at the same time, basically. There was an issue with upgrading settlement created at a flat platform around it on even terrain. I think it was fixed. I'm not 100% sure though. We'll see if we encounter it during this game. And let's see how our technology is coming along. Pretty good. So we started our humble road network. Yes, it's important to give your peasants some rest. That's very true. I might be overworking them at the moment. Let's see if everyone's still doing well. It does appear so. There are battles, the Mingyue and the White D, I think, or White Dai. We got the Hun fighting bandits. We know where the Hun are. They're right over here in the capital of Zheng. They're pretty far away. Alright, good. We got another encounter opportunity. An offers out of gold. Thank you. Thank you for your gold. Much obliged. So to the north here we have Saskia Town. So that is Ice Moonsugar, who incidentally is named Saskia in real life. So we got Saskia Town. Let's see, she seems to be doing fairly well. She's got some gold here, some bronze, at least 3 towns. I assume this is her town as well. So that seems to be going fairly well. We won't be dealing with her for some time probably, since there are still some guys in between us, most notably the Mongols, with whom we are allied at the moment. They are like our buffer to the north. But I want to know what is here, so I should probably start investigating. And I should recruit at least some garrison here. Also, the civvies are not completely happy. So is there any politics? Well, the politics is basically that you need to have it's abstracted, right? But it's there, so you need to have a certain authority level. If your authority falls too low, the nobles will start to rebel, or the chance of rebellion starts to increase. And if your levels of control of your peasants goes too low, they might start a rebellion as well. And these are like dominoes. So if your peasant armies, for example, might join the peasant rebellion, so you can have full-fledged civil wars in there based on nobles or peasants, depending on the class that rebels initially. And there are also some edicts you can have. It's pretty empty list right here now, but it will fill up with different like laws you can issue that that will basically influence the unrest or discipline levels of these factions. So it's there, yes, but it's somewhat abstracted. And the two has started trading. That's nice. Might be time for us to start doing the same, but first I want to upgrade my capital. We're gonna build a settlement upgrade here. There is a stack without orders, that's fine with me. Alright, so any more questions about the game, guys, or anything you'd like to advise me in my strategy? So at the moment I don't have any enemies, which is I think a fairly good position to be in. Just to, you know, take it steady, grow slow, but steadily. Are there any... What is my biggest threat at the moment, would you guys say? What would I need to prepare against? So we got the Mongols over here, we got the Chu right here, with whom we were at war. And the Chu accepted our alliance. I didn't really like the Han just roaming about, so that might be... Wait, what happened here? Ah, it takes one more turn. Alright. And our first road is complete, guys, so we can now much more quickly move troops from Gusu to Maili, but also once we start trading, that will act as a modifier. Alright. So we got our stack right here, which seems to be doing pretty well, just continuing to scout. Or actually, I'm going to move it. I'm going to take it all the way up to here. I want to know what's there. And my settler is moving pretty slow. Think that's it. What do you guys do? You will just scout here, continue to see if you can find some new Chu towns, some mortar and better mortar. We'll see which one turns out to be the better mortar. I think actually better mortar has more plains, less trees, but some swamps. Should be around equal. So I think they should be called equal mortars. Another very good question is here by Aldelin. Do cities change at all throughout the periods? Do they is the architecture change? Can cities shrink if they're hit with plague? So shrinking cities, as in size on the map, is not yet there. Growing is. So bigger cities will show up bigger on the map and will take up more space. And while the main architecture doesn't necessarily change over time, I'm sorry. Well, so they don't change necessarily over time, but you do see the addition of many buildings. So you got like bigger. In the beginning, they're all fairly standard small buildings, but then they grow out to be like palaces and smithies, and you can see the smoke coming off the cities. And many of these buildings are physically present, like in the cities. I can zoom in a bit, and you can see it. I always forget to really zoom in at least once at the start of the stream, because that's where the game really shows its great looks. Vaka is also watching on the laptop. Thank you for watching us, Vaka. That's great. So I will show you a bit of the city later. It's still fairly early game, so there's not that much exciting stuff. I didn't build a hell of a lot of buildings yet. That will come. And Thomas Younger is saying, I think it's a pity that woods can only be cleared. Perhaps it could be used for resources. Yeah, so we don't have like a wood resource. It's from that perspective, you know, you got per city you have a food resource, but other than that there is nothing. It's just about money. I mean, for fairly early game it perhaps would make sense to have these different resources, but later on you're essentially the emperor and you don't really care where the stuff comes from as long as it gets built. So it is an interesting concept, but not perhaps one that would best fit the game, considering it's such a large-scale type of game. We encountered a new power, the kin, so we now made official acquaintance with the kin, and let's offer them a treaty. They are a fair bit weaker than we are, so we are just gonna offer them... They offer us information about their enemies, and we offer them the location of our capital, and we offer a fraternal harmony pact. There we go. So Zhao and Sheng are actually big buddies at the moment. Oh, that's interesting. It's still being built. One more turn. Peasants aren't overly happy, so I should probably recruit something to keep them quiet. Well, that's an interesting one for the city panel. We are balancing already because you know, how much information exactly do you want to have on there, considering that the information on there is already pretty small, but having the resources break down might be interesting. It's something worth considering, definitely. And we have another Middle Earth here. Actually, I don't want to be that guy, but it's not actually Middle Earth. It's Middle Earth. So there is like a, it should be hyphenated, I think. Guys, any Tolkien experts around here? And I think that's it for this turn. Let's see. New power encountered. We got one army doing nothing. Just move up to the town. Farming effects. No, it's not that in depth. I must admit, they're not that type of effects, other than the natural disasters that do occur. Thank you, Dr. Beekman. Is Gandalf lurking around anywhere? I wouldn't know, but might be interesting to find out. I think in the last multiplayer game, last, what was it, Wednesday, I think, Ice, Moonshagger, and Femabel played a 2v2 game, basically against the AI. And then there were also, I saw city names like the Shire. Definitely into Lord of the Rings, also into Pokemon, and also into Harry Potter. So it's a person with wide interests, I should say. And the settlement upgrade is complete, so let me just zoom in real quick into this city so we can see it right here. This is somewhat bigger than our other than some of our other cities at the moment, just a little bit. We have a couple of people in the market, so this is like a mid-sized city. This is a small one right over here. You can see it's a fair bit smaller, and the big size one I don't have yet. You need a population size of 100 if I recall correctly. The population in Guzo has actually decreased over the last couple of turns, which is interesting. And we need to claim the mulberry, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to start building a market, I think. A bazaar. So it costs 40 per turns, but hopefully once the trade starts flowing, it should make good on his money. And we misbuilt one particular road here, which looks a bit ugly. I'm sorry for that. There's some road gore. It's also one of the things people are complaining about, actually, quite interestingly. Not the things that really alter the type of, really alter the gameplay, but the road gore. People want the option to remove roads. There we go. And Waka is in the Discord channel and is proposing like a special tree type that could be interesting, that gives like a fancy type of wood. Something to consider. More resources I think would be welcome. So how would this road go? Would it go like this, around the river, or like this? There we go. And our new settler is almost there. I'm gonna set this one to auto explore. Don't want to micromanage it anymore. technology warning. Let's see. So we finished one technology. We need to select a new one. I could do with a bit of extra. I need this one really. I was hoping to get a bit of extra authority, but we got 5 now, which is not that bad. I was in doubt whether to build the city here or here. So both have the rhinos and the deer. This one's a bit closer, but this one seems to have a bit more space, although it is enclosed by some of the others. So I think I chose the right one. What sort of resources are there, and what are they used for? I see there are rhinos. Are they used for war mounts or food? Now, war mounts, that would be something, wouldn't it? You get a sort of like a Warcraft vibe then. They're used for neither, actually. So historically, they were used as armor for the nobles. In this case, they're used for trade, so they generate a financial benefits. So they basically give me about 60 per turn. There is food itself. They're like the wild game that you can hunt, which provide additional food, just as the fish. There is the mulberry, which provides more valuable silk when silk is produced there. There are bronze and gold, which are used for well, money directly or for trade. And there are a couple of there are also some special trade resources. You can get like tourists coming to your country if you have a famous temple or something like that. Let's see, what else do we have? We got jade. We got copper. Sorry, I said bronze, I meant copper. So we got the rhinos. We got a couple of others that are not shown here, but there are quite a few, and there's the possibility to add more down the line. So we got a diplomatic offer from Kin. Our Kin agreed, I think, with our offer. Let's see what we got here. So we're going to continue scouting. I think it would be nice to get here. Visit Jal and then Minua. What was the new power we encountered? That was Ba. Okay. Apparently we had not formally encountered Ba yet. So these guys are replenishing. That's nice. So they'll be fresh and good to go in the future. Now we need to watch our unrest levels though. And I would like to upgrade my mine at some point, but 2,500 is a lot of money. Or gold, if you will. Let's keep improving Mordor. So other resources that are non-discoverable. So no, all of them are discoverable, but a lot of them you just cannot use yet. Like the mulberry, which only takes into effect once I build the silk weaver, or the gold once you have the tech to start drilling or mining. There are a couple of. Are there any others? I know there are others, but I can't think of them at this point. Can't we settle our start our new settlement yet? Next turn, okay. Another technology warning, craft. So we need this one at some point. It increases the value of bronze trade, which is nice, but it also increases our authority. And it's needed for some other stuff as well, so for other technologies and other trees, so it's an important one. The advanced bronze casting, so we're going to research that. Alright, so for those of you who are just joining us, we are play testing the multiplayer for Oriental Empires, a turn-based strategy game that is being developed by Shining Pixel Studios and published by Iceberg Interactive. It is currently out in early access, which is, it's not finished yet, which is why we're currently testing. These are public tests, so we're testing with a couple of our guys, but also with some of the community members. And there's also another test game going on right now, which we are not streaming, but testing is being done for sure, and we figured might as well let you guys enjoy it a little bit. If you want to see more of this, or more of our other games, or just more of Oriental Empires, please let us know. Be sure to follow us. That would be really great if you could do that. Nice show of support. And, drop in the chat, ask your questions about the game. Ask your questions perhaps about other stuff, or give us your feedback. What do you think of it? If you have feedback on my current strategies, that would be perfect as well. I'd love to hear from you guys what you think I'm doing wrong or how I could improve. We're playing a multiplayer game with like 5 other people and a bunch of AI, and it's basically a free-for-all type of thing, so everyone could fight everyone if they want to, and only one winner in the end. So we're currently at turn 46. We're still relatively early in game, but we did speed up technologies a little bit to make the game a little bit faster. I'm gonna find my new city right here. And we're gonna farm it. Actually, I should farm this one first, so I get the wild game. So our income is pretty good at the moment. We're continually improving, so that's really nice. We're building our road network right here. Do it like this. And we are also building our first trade unit, so we're gonna start trading pretty soon. And we got the Chu exploring what we're doing right here. Welcome to do so. We are allied at the moment. I still have a fairly potent stack right here. And you guys, I feel like I wanted to just disband you guys, because before you get there, you're pretty much useless. So let's do that. Let's save the money. We might recruit a couple of new guys later on. There we go. That bumps up our income significantly. And that's going pretty well. All our towns are doing fairly well. So Yunyang is our new one. And just as an Easter egg, we're going to call it "And Don't Tell Famabel." There we go. Ah, she called it Equal Mortar. How kind is that? I hadn't even noticed that. So we will call it Equaler Mortar. There we go. Battle. Which orders did you give your companies? So, did I fight a battle? I don't think I found a battle recently. I fought a couple of battles against Famabel right here, and some against rebels. Against rebels, I mostly just attack. Against Famabel, I had to split up a part of my army with the ambush order. That did pretty darn well. Although she did manage to kill my leader at that time, so it hurt me quite a bit. And but by that time, I think my walls were already up and she didn't have any archers, so I could just retreat inside my city. And also her army got caught by disease, which I think was karma, but you know, whichever. It was good luck for me, good fortune. Let's see. Waiting for players, so we're waiting for Han for CTSS 1230. Also, quite an experienced Oriental Empire player, so it's a good company to be in, basically. So while you're waiting, you can use the chat, which is a nice addition. And so far the test seems to be going fairly well. One glitch was reported, which is, I don't think, is a multiplayer specific issue. It is something we should fix though. But so far that's pretty darn good. Rapidly approaching turn 50, I think. So a standard game runs around 300 turns. By then either score dictates who wins, or before that someone else could win by achieving one of 3 other victory conditions. Ah, right, so Femke's or Femabel's land ends here. That is a very nice part. Very secure part to be in. That's really nice. I'm quite jealous. Look at that. You got the sea, you got the southern isthmus right here. Is it called an isthmus even if it's land? I don't know. You guys tell me. And you got the mountain range and forest here. So you got this very small, tiny place to cross and to defend. That is nice. Consider me jealous. We got a disease outbreak in Yangling, unfortunately. But we got trade flowing, guys. You see these? We got them trade routes right here. And let's see how much we're making. Or losing. Perhaps it was a tiny bit early for trade. So we got the income from external trade 41 and 10, so we're making about 11 on trade at the moment. We're gonna increase that number, so we got the money for a pottery workshop, and after that we're gonna buy the silk weaver. The pottery is very good for trade because the pottery doesn't require any upkeep, it just makes money. And the silk weaver does require a significant bit of upkeep, so I want to wait a little bit with that until the trade works more, until I got more of my roads connected. But it is a nice start. Let's see, we got a message. So we got the Qin and the Shang at war. The Shang is doing pretty well, so we might consider see if we can help out the Qin a little bit. Perhaps even do some raiding. We got the income for it. And raiding might even pay itself off in the long run. What do you guys think? So does fire play a role in battles in this game? There is fire. There are like fire arrows, but they're more to burn buildings. But you need them. The same goes for like your trebuchets and or well, they're called differently, or crouching tigers, I think they're called. So that is something to take note of. It does play a role, but it's not like a special thing, fire. You do get firearms later on, and there is friendly fire, but I'm not sure in what capacity you mean, if whether or not fire plays a role. Thomas, in the second period, I could persuade a neighbor to acknowledge me as emperor. Is this already the right time, or better later? Well, if you play single player, there is no wrong time to do so, unless you expect to go to war with them pretty quickly, because that will nullify that. However, in multiplayer, once people see you're trying to become the emperor, they will see you as leading in the race to become the winner of the game, so you might actually want to downplay it until the very last moment. So it becomes a bit more of like a bluff or a gamble, which is part of the dynamics of multiplayer. You want to become emperor, but you don't want other people to know how close you are to actually achieving that, because once you are close and they know it, you will become the prime target of their aggression. Battlefield engineering, like lightning fires and burning grass, forest using... No, not to that level. So we got some diplomacy going about right here. Qin is offering to become our vassal if we attack Shang. That's an interesting one. I'm not going to do that though. I cannot really protect Qin right there all the way. However, I will recruit a scout party, essentially. To go there. Overworked peasants. Well, honestly, at this point, I don't really care. Alright, so let's do a small comparison right here. So if we look at victory points, Dr. Beekman is leading. We are not doing very well, at least you know, looking at the known players only. Even our ally is doing better. Culturally, we are not doing much better. When it comes to number of cities, we're doing reasonably well, but so are Han and Shang. Population-wise, we are doing quite well. We need to grow further though. Military, we have the strongest military. And Kin killed a bunch of enemy civilians, which is quite nice. Go Kin. And we killed the most enemy soldiers, even more than the bandits, which is quite good. And we didn't lose a lot. So our trades have been fairly well. Let's see, yes. Coinage is required. I think we've done everything we need to do. We got another disease outbreak. Oh dear. We got a bumper harvest, which is very good, and we got plenty of farms completed. Our towns will be occupied for quite some time. Roads are still being constructed. So I think it's as good as it will be for now. Yeah, so central bureaucracy, we're talking about that one here in the chat. What you need to get like some of the good edicts out there. Central bureaucracy is a very good one because it gives access to very important ones like salt tax and I think also land redistribution and a couple of others. But setting up the central bureaucracy costs like 500 a turn, so it's a big investment. Probably scout a bit more around my towns. Let's send this one out. So we got Equaler Mortar became Equalist Mortar. I like it. Where are you going? No, you're not going there. Equaler Mortar actually needs to continue farming. And we got the road complete here. So how's our trade doing now? How much are we making? External trade 43, internal trade 10, only slightly more. But we're still building the pottery workshop, so once that's done, we should be better again. just sand here. This is very, you know, very empty place. So it seems like Han is pretty far away, pretty isolated. And this is a nice place as well. Once you can drain the swamps, it will be could be very worthwhile. Just that my authority rating is not that high, so I can't have many more towns, or not at all at this point. At least for the time being. So if I conquer something, I should just destroy it, essentially. Let's see. You take this one, you take this one. How far will you build? 2, 3. There we go. In about 3 turns, our initial road network should be complete, and money should start going in. Oh, we got... Whoa! What's that? We got an offer. Fraternal Harmony. That's fine. We got an ally request. Chu. Yes, we will follow you into conflict. Yes, we will follow you into conflict. And we will follow you into conflict. We will honor our alliance. We're getting some messages. Right. But of course we will honor our alliance with the Chu, so we got the alliance honored. And the Mongols are honoring our alliance as well. So a war has erupted. I will probably make some separate peace too, though. Because there's no reason for us to be at war with those guys, just as there's no reason. It's just a bit of AI quirkiness, I think. So we recently, well, recently, it's been a couple of months, but we added the option, you know, to make promises to each other. So I promise to attack that guy if you do the same. And the AI is perhaps somewhat overly eager when it comes to those things. Oh, sorry. Look at these very long trade routes. I like these. So you got like trade coming from Yin, going to Xing, to Wangshu, and all the way to Dui. So that's nice. That's proper planning there. So well played by Dr. Beekman. And we got our first battle. So we are fighting the our scout party is finding the scout party of the Zhao. Are they? These are not the Zhao, are they? Yeah, they are the Zhao. So we're fighting. I'm just gonna speed it up for, you know, for everyone else. We beat them. Oh, look at this nice building over here. And we can see. Ooh, we got some unrest. And we can see a welcome party by Dr. Beekman right here, so we're not going to interact with that. There's no reason to do so. We have an encounter, finally. We're walking a lot. Increase personal authority by 2. Yes, we need that. We're going to continue scouting. And Equilar Mordor suffered an earthquake. That's unfortunate. So it's now less equal, probably. Right, best mortar is growing. Let's see if there's a way through this mountain range. What was the offer? Zhao wants to make peace. We offer them 1. That's fine, yes. No problem with that. Thomas says the display about military strength doesn't really give an overview about the opponent's potential strength. No, it doesn't. So he just looks at the standing armies at that particular moment. Next turn, one could recruit like 1,000 more units. That's very true. So we got a fair bit of money. So what I am inclined to do, I could save up a bit more to upgrade the mine, or I could focus on the trade and build the silk weaver after the pottery. That might be more worthwhile. Let's do that. So we got the battle report. We had a very confident victory. We lost 4 guys. They lost 10. But other than that, nothing particularly special. Alright. Again, for you guys who joined in later or missed a bit, we're playing Oriental Empires, a turn-based strategy game about ancient China, a bit like Civilization in some ways, but also very different than many others. And if we're testing the multiplayer, so it's currently out in early access. You can grab more information by clicking the banner below this stream, and you can also buy it, play it. It's not fully done yet. We're very close to release, but we're just, you know, doing the finishing touches. Having said that, release won't be the end of development. It would merely be the next phase in development. So even post-release, we'll do plenty of, you know, DLC content, free updates as well. We have a lot of ideas, and we want to hear your ideas on it. And we'd also like you, if you like what you're seeing right here, you know, hit the follow button on Twitch. You will be notified whenever we're live again. We'll do at least 2 more in the next weeks, same time as we are today. So that's something to look forward to, and there will be many other streams as well. And let's see, we are waiting for Sanvona, we're waiting for Dr. Beekman, we're waiting for Ice Moon Sugar. Alright. And I'm being asked if I want some more cake. So I mentioned it before, Femabel is actually her last day with us in the office. She's the intern, and she's offering me if I want a final piece of cake. Thank you very much, but no thank you. I've had plenty already. So you've seen Femvel perhaps a couple of times earlier in streams. We did multiplayer streams before. Of course, she was her last week. She did a game Wednesday with Ice Moon Sugar together, like a 2v2 type of thing. And also, I think a couple of other streams she was in. And we got first combat going. Somebody declared me war, and that somebody goes by the name of Dr. Beekman. How interesting. And we got an ally request. Yes, we will honor our alliance, and suddenly we are at war with a lot of people. So this is going to be a fairly large conflict. Interesting. Time to send out the troops. Alright, so things are finally heating up a little bit. We are gonna escape and get the hell out of there. We find it unfortunate that you felt the need to declare me war. And Zhao declared me war as well. Let's see if we can make some peace here. They're all allies of... Let's see. I offer... Okay. Yeah, sure. Zhao is also much weaker. Actually. Alright, let's see if this works. No, I don't want it as a vassal. I do want his money, though. There we go. A little bit of extra cash. So we reduce the amount of conflicts we're in. And we can focus now. And our road network has improved again, so we should be making a fair bit more money. Yeah, 131 by external trade now, and 28 by internal trade. So we can start recruiting more armies, essentially, and I should probably get some better buildings here. So let's build a palace first, so we can also get more recruits. And let's increase our authority. There we go. So I think we are in a pretty good position. You know, the front is pretty far away, so I don't think either of us will really crush the other. But if we can, you know, do enough damage to halt their expansion for a bit, while we can continue to just grow our town normally, that would be, I think, very, very important. That would help us gain a lot. And by the way, I'd like to tell all the guys in the game here, it's really cool that you could join us again. I think we got the exact same crew as last week, which is quite special. So thank you for all your dedication to that. It's really awesome. So I'm just using the public chat here to say that I am somewhat disappointed in Chang with the declaration of war. Ah, let's see. No, I'm not gonna do that. White Dye wants to make peace? Sure. I didn't even know you existed. But, so, war has been declared, they killed my people. So we need to do at least something. And let's see, what is there? What else is there to do for me? So basically, we got into war with Shang because we got into war with its ally or vassal, while honoring an alliance to our own ally. So that's quite interesting, which is why I commented in the chat. Like, I mean, you know, didn't World War One start like this? Because it kind of feels like that. Let's build another road. This will take some time, but that's okay. So, Chu, about that war you started. Pretty much, right? Who is handling politics from from the background? Yeah, I think I'm currently at war with people I haven't actually made any contact with, which is quite interesting. Yeah, someone has to. So who orchestrated this world war we're in right now? That must be it. Ooh, we got the camera glitch again. Let's see, whom are we waiting for? Appears we're waiting for someone. Don't know who. Ah, there we go. We got an offer. No, we're not gonna do that. Let's see, we got high unrest and wow, that's really high unrest. Satisfaction 100. How so? So I might need to send my nobles somewhere else. And also here, what happened here? Super high unrest. Why are you guys so angry? Dissatisfaction. Food shortages. Yeah, that's not good. That will help a little bit, but I need to watch out for that. So I'll recruit some new nobles for that. So that is unfortunate, actually, this much unrest. Sorry I've been a bit quiet. Let's see, there we go. That makes us a fair bit weaker than we need to be. Oh, we got a diplomacy warning. We had an offer. Ah, yes, we did not want to do this. Let's see if we can avoid getting serious. So that's what you see, what some of the weather conditions can do if you don't have enough food. And I was already pushing my population a bit. If this would turn into a rebellion, it would basically be a good game for me. And we're waiting for ice moon sugar. And we are helping Shao, or are we helping our allies against Shao, outflanking them. That's all nice and dandy. Let's check in with Ice Moon Sugar. So, for those of you who are looking into like what's going on, we are a couple of players. We got a big war just erupted. Although our armies are quite far apart, it's a war that came to be out of alliances rather than real attacking. So let me show you. So we got myself right here in green. We got Dr. Beekman here in red, and we are just now at war with each other. Alright, let's see. Got news of war. Got a battle report. Well, we won. We lost 2 guys. They lost 10. Nothing fancy, but we got some bandits here. As a result of our unrest, obviously. So we need to send a force to deal with them. So I'm gonna recruit some guys at who. There we go. We're gonna send them over here. And because of the road network, they can move relatively quickly. But the unrest is less than it was, I think. 84 now. Alright, it's doing better. You know, as money starts to, or food starts to come into the town, the unrest will be lower. Yeah, that must be it, Thomas. They didn't want to declare war, obviously not. They just wanted to be very, very best buddies. I believe him. Alright, we need more farms at who? And at best mortar. Here we're gonna refrain from farming, I think. Doesn't really matter. So let's not. Right, so we're gonna go on for 10 more minutes or so. Yeah, so granaries is something I should have had actually, which is the main reason for my unrest. But it's always a bit of a weird trade-off on how to and when to use them. So it takes a while before they fill up. Yes, it goes very slowly because it's basically the excess food that is being used to fill it up. But because you're farming fairly slowly, especially initially, there is very little excess food to start filling up with. So it might be too early. It depends on the location when you're at as well. You know, if you're at a location where you get plenty of floods, especially early on, you're probably gonna need it. And we're waiting for other players, so we're waiting for Dr. Beekman at this point. We got some battles going on. Chongyu did some attacks somewhere over here, I guess. We are continuing to flee from. Oh, I failed to bring in my extra troops. Foolish me. So Dr. Beekman is saying he also was forced into this conflict. The question is, do we? I think it makes sense what he says. So continuing the war might not be the best thing to do. So we got an offer from the Mongols. I'm sorry guys, I love you. You know that, but actually let's see if I can make them my vassals. No, they don't want to be my vassals. But our Silk Weaver is complete, so that should increase our income a little bit again. But they are blocking our trade, the bloody bandits. The good news is that because we have food again, our ooh, we could even take these fish. So because we have food again, our unrest is really low again. So that's nice. So is going to continue to start growing and growing. And hopefully growing. Equal Mordor, Halu, or approaching like a population of 40. So they can be upgraded then. Cover more territory. So I'm talking to Dr. Beekman right now. See what we can best do to dissolve this situation. There we go, doing well. How is our road network coming along? We were building this extra bit of road right here that will take some time. But it is coming along nicely. Gusar is really the center of our empire. If we had lost that, that would be a major issue. Actually, the foundry it produces bronze for trade, so we could build it and get more trade even. There we go. And we are doing quite well, I think. Ah, thank you, Thomas. So, let's see. I think all is well. Do we have anything we need to be aware of? Not particularly. Let's just roll into... Oh, we got a stack without orders. Who's that? Alright, you guys. So you're waiting for the new guys to show up. That's fine. We got you. Go out and scout, I guess. Same goes for you. And you guys close to best mortar. You can enter best mortar again. Right, so we got into a fight with the bandits. We're a fair bit stronger, so I don't foresee any problems here. We got basic tactics. We just fight them on one at a time and just take them head on. We can easily recuperate the losses. Alright, so we got an offer. Attack the Hun within 5 turns. Again, I'm not going to do that. There we go. Alright, so let's see, we're slowly coming to an end here. I think we have come to an end. Let's say one last turn, and then we're going to close it off. So, is there anything that requires my attention? We got new settlers, we got some farms, we probably need to keep producing more. But other than that, we are doing a fairly decent job, I say. We quelled the unrest. I could construct some better stuff in my capital. That will still take some turns. We're also, we're still farming. We're doing many things at the same time, possibly too many. So I might need to stop road construction. That might have been overly ambitious, especially to this extent. Let's do it like this. Alright, so let's get the last turn going. Okay, yes, one last turn. I'm gonna hit enter right now, I think. Hopefully we can continue this game later on then. So I'm gonna hit enter right now. It was quite exciting. Turn 56, so we didn't do as many turns as last time. Of course, a lot more is going on, especially when it comes to conflict. Cities are getting bigger. Diplomacy has become a hell of a lot more interesting than it was last week. With international alliances forming here and agreements. So that is very, very interesting. We'll have to see what comes from it. So at the moment, Dr. Bigman is leading. He is doing very, very well, and he has created a nice empire for himself with plenty of allies and people that recognize him as emperor. But that also makes him a target for the rest. So we'll see how that goes. we're doing relatively well population-wise, and probably also therefore economy-wise. But we have spent a lot of a lot of money into troops, which we could have used perhaps to invest better into our economy. Qin is holding on in the mountains. We got Chu being very, very safe now that we formed an alliance together. We got the Mongols, who are AI played, doing very, very well. We have an alliance together as well, so that's probably why few people want to touch them. We got the Ba right here, and I'm not quite sure what they're up to. They're played by Cannon. And yeah, from the north, apparently Sanvon, the Xiongyu are really attacking and taking some territory, if we are to believe what they are saying. Lastly, we have the Han, who is, for me, very, very far away. I know they're at war with the Chu, I think, but whatever happens, I'm not quite sure. So I think that's it for now. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'm just going to wait for the turn resolution to be over, and then I'm going to thank all of the guys here for testing with me again. Also, thank you guys for watching with me. Thanks in particular to Famabel, who will be leaving us after today as our intern, or she's been an intern here at Iceberg Interactive. So it was great testing with you, and it would be great, you know, if you guys could play more. And exactly, it would be brilliant if we could see H4 Havoc again next week. It was very fun to have him around as well. So thanks everyone. Just waiting for the turn resolution here. Let me save the game. There we go. Saved. So thanks everyone. It was a pleasure playing with all of you, and we hope to see you again. We hope to see you again very soon. So nice weekend to you all. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back. If you want to get more information, be sure to follow our channel, and you'll be updated every time we go live. Alright, and so thanks again, and goodbye everyone. Bye bye.